Hello everybody and welcome to my channel. Today we are starting our January 2024 first book of the year for the Lazy Book Club. If you don't know what we are as a club, it's just another book club. But as of right now, we do not do lives. That's kind of the lazy part of it. We basically pick in the community tab, so always make sure to check your community tabs if you're subscribed and make sure you're subscribed if you're not. But I kind of give a range of choices each month that can range from romance, fantasy, young adult picks, thrillers, etc. We kind of pick from a lot of things. We do pick a lot of fantasy. So if you're looking for a fantasy book club, this is like chill fantasy. It's never going to be high fantasy. And basically your only job is to read the book at some point in your life that YouTube is a thing. Like, I would love it if you actually read it before the video comes out, but the point is that you don't have to. You could read the books like 4 months from now and then come back, comment, and watch the video. It is a super low stress book club. So for January, my subscribers picked The Unmaking of June Farrow, which I knew nothing about. Like, literally nothing. You can tell I've already read it, but I knew nothing about it going into it. Absolutely nothing. All I knew is it was supposedly a fantasy with some romance in it. And that's it. And that it was getting really good ratings and everyone seemed to really like it, and it was in my comment section a lot. This is what ended up winning. So if you haven't watched one of these before, this is full spoilers. The whole video, the point of it is full spoilers. If you haven't read it and you don't want to know spoilers, stop here, go read the book, come back. Otherwise, we are getting right into these spoilers. It's been a very long morning. It's been a very long morning. If you couldn't tell by the chaos a little bit in the background. I've almost finished rewatching a whole season 1 of Stranger Things. We had our ceiling finally repaired. I don't know if I even went over the original story. Our water heater burst on New Year's Eve at like, or first thing in the morning, but they couldn't come until like 4 o'clock. And then they were here the rest of the day taking out our original water heater and putting in a new one all day. And it kind of left us with a nasty stain in our kitchen in the ceiling. And we also have one upstairs. So we had a schedule, obviously, with drywall people to come in and take out some of the drywall to make sure there wasn't rot, etc. going on. And it literally looked disgusting. It was disgusting. So they finally came today. It is the 29th. Yes, 29th, because the 30th is the first episode of the new season of Vanderpump Rules, which I actually have to work. I have to work tomorrow night, and I'm very upset. I am so upset. I cannot believe I'm gonna be at work while the first episode's going on. I'm quite angry about it, actually. So anyway, that has been going on all morning, and so I've just been reading, and I'm definitely updating way later than I normally do. So this is like, I think it's the Owl Crate version of this, but it's so pretty. I like this better than the actual cover that they did. This is stunning. This is stunning. I just absolutely love it. So I have gotten to chapter 12, which is page 123. And I normally like to update pretty fast. Like, I normally like to update at like 50 pages and then kind of decide where to update from then, just to give you general reactions. But I really didn't have any, and I still don't know how I feel about this, because this is doing 2 things that I hate. And I went into this completely blind. I'm sure I brought it up in the intro, but I went, completely blind. I had no idea what this is about. The only thing I know is the author, and I've liked the author previously. So I just saw everyone really wanted me to read it, and a lot of other people wanted to read it. So I thought it'd be a really good choice for a book club. And I really got to vet my choices better, because this, I feel like everyone else is going to like, but I potentially am going to hate this, because I'm already not, this is the problem. I don't know how I feel about this. So this is following our main character, June Farrow, and she comes from a long line of Farrow women who are known to have this like madness that runs in the family. They start hallucinating, seeing things, and often they say that they feel like they're in 2 times at one time. So it's like this grand hallucinations that are happening. And the book opens up with June's grandmother passing away, and we find out that she already has started having this like quote unquote madness going on in her life, and she hasn't told anybody. So that's kind of where it goes from. Where I got to, it was very obvious within the first 50 pages. So this is the reason I did not update in the first 50 pages, is I really liked the writing style, and I was thinking, ooh, this feels very Invisible Life of Addie LaRue vibes, and I absolutely love that book. I'm like, I'm really feeling this. And then the longer it went on, the more I was like, this is timey-wimey stuff. I do not like time travel. I don't like parallel dimension things. I really don't like that stuff because there's, number one, there are always issues with romance in it and it's always drama and I hate it. It's still why I haven't read the Outlander series even though I have all of them up to current. Number two, there are always plot holes. There are always plot holes in books like these and I cannot stand it. And I'm already like annoyed with some stuff that's happening in this. So it's basically doing all the things that I did not want it to do. So at 50 pages, I was like, I'm liking it, but I have a feeling I know where it's going. And then all the things started happening that I was afraid that were gonna happen. So I wanted to wait a little bit longer to actually get into those things to really talk about it. So the point that we are at in this book, she has gone back in time for the first time. And I just am not loving it because we've already introduced the idea of two different love interests. But at the same time, one of the love interests in the current day, Mason, I don't like, and I get really bad vibes from. I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know if like this is supposed to be him and he legitimately is a romance. Like she ends up staying with him. I don't know. It's making me really annoyed. I feel like this book is so cryptic already. It's not explaining basic things and like all the characters are hiding things from June and it is driving me nuts. So yeah, the point we're at, she just traveled back in time and we have met Eamon, I'm gonna say Eamon, and he has a daughter and they're already not telling June if it's her daughter or somebody else's daughter. It seems like potentially Eamon has somebody else like that he may be dating currently, so maybe that's how they're gonna get around the weird love triangle thing that's happening that isn't really a love I don't know. I don't know, but basically I'm so this book has disoriented me. It has frustrated me. I probably will finish this book today just to know what's going on because I am so confused and I don't know where it's going. Like I know everything that's happening. I get everything that's happening. But it's annoying me. It's annoying me. June has found out that her grandmother actually wasn't having madness. Her mom wasn't having madness when she disappeared. Oh yeah, because that's the other big thing. Her mom disappeared and she's trying to figure out what happened to her. So we get hints from the dead grandmother that we find Susanna in the past in a picture from 1911 and she has a daughter June back in 1912. And you find out that both of them supposedly died back then and June recognizes her mother in the picture and it's definitely her mom. And so she kind of puts it together that her mom is actually in the past and hasn't actually like disappeared. She's just gone from this timeline. And that the baby who is named June seems like it's actually her and she was born back in 1912 or whatever, but is now back in current day and was living with her grandmother. So she kind of has this thing where she's like, okay, maybe we aren't actually going crazy. And the person that she's living with, Birdie, says, oh, like you figured it out, and gives her this letter. And she ends up going back in time, meeting her husband apparently back in 1951. And we found out that the locket that's shared among the family actually is how you get to a certain date. So her locket was just set to 1951 and it's kind of screwed up the timeline because this is where I'm starting to get annoyed. If she just went back in time, met somebody, fell in love, and that's how the story went, fine. But it's introduced this like mystery of, oh, she's like disrupted the timeline and everyone's kind of like, oh, this isn't right. Like something's wrong. This wasn't the way it was supposed to be. And it's just so cryptic. It is pissing me off. And you also find out that, oh yeah, Nathaniel, the person that June's mom was married to, was murdered and nobody knows what actually happened to him. But I don't really care. It just keeps randomly being brought up. I don't know. So yeah, so we've met her apparent husband back in 1951 and she doesn't know how to deal with this. And then we find out all these rules about the time travel is you can only go through 3 times and she's already been through twice, so she's gonna have to decide on the 3rd time where she wants to go. Her family in the past is forcing her basically to go back to the future because she's here at the wrong time. And we found out that June in 1950 disappeared, and when this June showed up, it's like 2 totally different timelines too. It's so, I don't know. But like she supposedly visited before, like her first visit was supposed to be in 2024, but our June visited in 2023, which wasn't supposed to happen apparently. I don't know. It's so weird. It's so weird. So I don't know what's happening. I'm very confused. I am liking how it's written. It's written very well, but I don't like the subject material. But I still think Mason is a serial killer. like part of me thinks that he somehow is part of the past and he killed somebody. Maybe he killed Nathaniel in the past. I don't know. But I don't like him. I find him very suspicious, and I don't think I'm supposed to find him suspicious, but the whole flower business goes to him when June dies, because June didn't want to pass on the madness to a daughter, so she never had a relationship, etc. And so everything goes to Mason after she passes. So I'm like, that's suspicious. And there is a murder back in 1919 something, so obviously suspicious. I don't know, okay? I'm so annoyed with this book, but I'm gonna go back and continue reading because that is literally the only thing I can do to figure out what the hell is going on. I hope everyone else is having a better time reading this because this is stressing me out. I have not been this stressed out reading a book in a while. Again, it's not like I hate it. It's doing a lot of things I don't like. So I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so we're gonna continue reading. And I really hope it reads the back half as quickly as the front half read, because it read super fast. And that's one thing I love. It is super fast to read. It is quite short. So hopefully that's it. But I don't know what I even want to happen. Like I don't know. Because I don't like the madness thing. Like, even if they choose to like live in one timeline or the other, they still go crazy at the end. So I don't like that. I really hope that's not a thing. I hope we figure that out. And I really want to know if this is Mason or Eamon. It looks like how because they said Eamon was like tall, dark, and handsome, right? But that doesn't look like clothes from, I don't know. To me, this looks like Mason and from like a thing they had earlier in the book. But if he's on this, then there's no way he's a bad guy. He's got to be the romance. So I don't know. My guess right now, 123 pages in, my guess right now is that she kind of starts up something with Eamon and it's not right, or he's with somebody else and they kind of talk through what their relationship used to be and what it is now, and they realize that they're not meant for each other, and then she decides to stay in her timeline and gets together with Mason, and that way it's not actually a love triangle, and she figures out that she just needs to live her life even if it's with madness. I don't know. That's kind of my guess about what I feel like is going to happen because of how cryptic everyone is being, but in reality, lizard people could show up. That's how cryptic this book is. Lizard men could show up at some point and I wouldn't be surprised. So anyway, I'm gonna keep reading this. I will update you. I'm gonna try and do another 100 pages or maybe another 50 because, like I said, I didn't update early on, so I might try and update a little bit more as the book goes on. Okay, it is later today. It is 7:49. I don't know why I was so specific, but I don't know why I was so specific with it, but I have read to page 185. I haven't gotten too much further. I had to do dinner stuff and stuff like that. So I haven't read too much more, about 60 pages more, but I should finish this tonight. I should finish this tonight. My opinion of this book has definitely changed. My theories have definitely changed. I'm in it. I'm loving it. I'm having a great time. And I feel like it's because I feel like the love triangle there is no love triangle. I think that was like my biggest qualm, and I feel like we definitely have a situation where June of the past didn't actually leave her family. So we got some things to talk about. We got some things to talk about. I feel like it's very obvious that June, what do we want to call her? Past June? Let's call her Past June. Past June, or disappeared June, 1000% killed Nathaniel. Like, there's no way that she didn't. And I have a theory it's because Nathaniel actually like killed the mom or something similar along those lines. I think he killed the mom, or the dad killed the mom because the dad didn't approve, Nathaniel's dad. So I kind of think like that's what happened, and June found out and then killed Nathaniel accidentally or on purpose. And now Esther and Eamon and all of them like know, so they've been protecting her. And because now she just got like arrested, or not arrested, but she got pulled aside by Caleb, Nathaniel's cousin or something, because he's suspicious of her, and they've been trying to avoid her talking to the sheriff. So definitely think she killed Nathaniel. That's kind of my main theory. I still don't know what's up with Mason. Part of me thinks that Mason is part of the Rutherford line, and he has something to do with June going missing, like past June. I don't know. Like, I feel like Mason's got to have something to do with this. Oh, and I am fully sure now that this is definitely Eamon. And on the other dust jacket that's upstairs on the back of it, it's definitely Eamon as well. So I feel much happier now knowing that it's not actually a love triangle. So definitely think she's gonna stay in the past. I don't think she actually wanted to leave. Part of me thinks that past June is actually dead, and that the sheriff killed her, or I think someone killed her. I think we've got like a parallel universe thing almost going on in this situation, where in one of, because that's the thing about time with stuff. Like in one version of this universe, June in 2024 was the one who visited first. But that's not the case in this universe, whatever. And I think June went missing. I think June is dead. Like, I don't think June went back. So I don't know. It's weird. So I don't know how they're gonna do this time loop, because it's gotta loop around when she gets to 2024. I don't know how that's gonna work, unless the real loop is the first time she was in the past is this version of her, and she goes back, fixes stuff that happens, and then in 2024 she goes back to meet him. But yeah, I feel like maybe that's it. So then she has to leave because she knows she can't be in two places at the same time. I don't know how that would work. I don't know how that would work. I don't know. I don't know, because then I'm so confused. I'm trying to make sense of time stuff, and I'm just like scratching my head, like trying to make it make sense. But I don't know, something has gone wrong. Something has gone wrong. So anyway, yeah, so I definitely think she's gonna end up staying with Eamon. I think she was forced to leave relating to the murders, but I think she's either dead or she's hiding in the, I don't know, because there's kind of like two of her now. That's the weird part of this. But I don't know. I'm very confused. And I don't know. Anyway, that was my update. Basically, I just want to tell you I was actually enjoying it now, and it's just such a fast read. I cannot put it down. I like that there's like a mystery now that's kind of involved that kind of got me more into it. And I'm definitely happy with romance things happening, and I love the like weird memories she keeps happening. I think that's really, really cool. So that's kind of where I'm at. Not a great update, because I feel like I just confused myself more. I feel like I just got more confused. But yeah, I am enjoying it more. Hopefully I'll have another update in a little bit. Hopefully I'll probably do one more update before I finish, so I'll probably wait for about 100 pages. And then I'll update before the end of the book, and then we'll talk about the end of it. Okay, I'm on page 236, and I am 99.9%, did I say that right? 99.9% sure that the person who killed Nathaniel was Susanna holding June. I'm like 100% sure. Like, I am so positive right now. It's crazy. Okay, like so positive. And the reason she came back is if she didn't come back, like nothing, like none of this would have happened, I guess. That's like, I can't, or she was protecting her family from him. That is my thought. My thought process is that she killed Nathaniel before Nathaniel could do anything to June as an adult. And I think that's why she knew she had to stick around until she did, is my theory. But I still don't know where it all connects. I still don't know where 2024 June went. Part of me thinks, okay, this is, I feel like this is the conspiracy of all conspiracy books. Like, that's what it feels like. So my theory right now is that June of 2024, it definitely wasn't actually her first time going. I think June of 2023 is the first time that she went, and she leaves and then comes back in 2024, or like the June of 2023 is the one that stays. I'm so confused. So my brain hurts so much. Okay, I need like a piece of paper. Like, I need a piece of paper. Okay, so June of 2023 shows up after June of 2024 has already left, right? So then June of 2024 doesn't exist. She doesn't exist. So June of 2023 would have to leave at some point to become the June of 2024. So the June of 2024 could go back to 1940 something, right? Yeah, because it's 5 years previous, something like that. She shows up in 1940 something. And then she disappears so that June of, but there's always a point where she leaves, if that's the case. Like, I'm so confused. But anyway, I'm pretty sure at least with Susanna's timeline, before Susanna dropped the baby off in the current day, she went to the future first in this timeline. Or, no, yeah, because she dropped off. Oh, yeah, because June, okay, that's what it is. That's what it is, because she couldn't go back. That's what it is. She used one of her, like, forward things to kill Nathaniel and then couldn't drop June off, so she came back to this timeline. I'm gonna love when they explain this, because I was like so confident when I came downstairs thinking I'd be able to explain this, and I'm sitting here just like, my brain hurts. My brain hurts. I don't know how it happened, but I'm 99.9% sure Susanna holding June killed Nathaniel. I'm really sad you can't see more. You couldn't see a little of the redness, but I finished the Unmaking of June Farrow sobbing. Absolutely sobbing. Oh man, I'm gonna give like a quick immediate reaction that I'm finishing it, and then I'll kind of give a bigger breakdown when I have time tomorrow or sometime after I've processed this. 5-star. Absolutely 5-star. I do think there are still some plot holes that weren't completely filled in. I was a little confused because at the very end she said like that there was about 20 years, or no, there was like 10 years where she was overlap with herself as a baby, and I thought they couldn't exist in the same timeline, but maybe, I don't know, that was a little bit of a plot hole, not fully explained unless I missed the thing behind that. And there was a couple of other things that were a bit funky, but I just don't care. I don't care. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Probably, oh, the other plot hole. Number one, I literally burst into tears when it was revealed that Birdie was Annie, and I'm about to start crying again. That was such a good reveal. Oh my gosh. So you can see my face started getting red. That was such a good reveal. That was the best reveal of the book. Everything else, I like out confused myself. Like, I actually had a theory that she went back in time to erase a timeline, but I could not make it work in my head, and it was too sad to think about. So I like how they did it where, I'm like all over the place right now. I like how they did it where June went back and basically like her and her past self like fused together. Part of me does think she died almost, like a different version of herself died, but at the same time it does seem like she fused because that's when the memories started, when she went back in 2022. So I'm just like, it's a 5-star. This is so good. It's so good. This definitely gave me Invisible Life of Addie LaRue vibes. I even got some, there was like some ethereal vibes in there. I definitely got some ethereal vibes very similar to parts of Last Tale of the Flower Bride. There was something very similar to the writing style, some of the more dreamy aspects of it, like when she was going through doors or having flashbacks. There was a little bit of that Last Tale of the Flower Bride in there, but Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, yeah, if you haven't read that and you loved this, I would try reading that. That is longer and a little drier, but the vibe and the emotion in it is very similar. You don't get as much of like a happy ending as what you got in this, but it's kind of a bittersweet ending. That's kind of what that is. So, which is kind of what this is. Like, she missed out on a whole, like, her other life. Like, there was literally an entire life with Mason that she missed out on. I'm really glad that we didn't like go into that more. I'm really glad that wasn't really an option, that we didn't explore this relationship that could have been with him. I would not have liked that. This book would have probably got like a 2-star or a 3-star if we had explored the Mason side of things more. So I'm glad we didn't do that. I'm glad we just got hints of this parallel universe of what it could have been, but she ended up staying with her family, which was so much better. It was so good. I was really sad. I was kind of sad that Susanna wasn't the one who killed Nathaniel. I thought that would have been interesting, but I also don't think it was necessary in the grand scheme of things. I think this is a simple as far as time travel things go, but it was just a very straightforward like plot line besides the time traveling stuff, like her killing Nathaniel, very straightforward. So it really didn't need that, especially with the twist of Birdie being Annie, which again, oh my gosh, it was so good. And then when she picked going to jail over the door at the end, I was like, I couldn't handle it. So yeah, that's just kind of my initial reaction. I loved it. I was not convinced early on. You saw that. I was not convinced early on. And it just got better and better. And just like the end was just a sucker punch. It was a sucker punch. I was kind of sad that Birdie didn't like have a family and that the like family ended with Birdie. I didn't love that. I kind of wish Birdie had found love. But that was also, again, a little bit of a plot hole because technically, when she goes back, no, I guess it will just continue doing a loop. And I think, yeah, because she will always end up there, so Birdie will always be taking care of her. And I was sad that Birdie died pretty soon after June left. Ugh, that was so sad. That was so sad. But I mean, Birdie does get to grow up with her mom for really long. So technically, she actually gets to be with her mom for a super long time because she gets her in her normal plot on her normal like timeline, and she grows up with June when Susanna drops her off. So Birdie actually gets her mom for her whole life, which is amazing, even though she doesn't know she's her mom for so long. So it's cool that Birdie gets to be with June that whole time. Oh my god, I can't. And then the grandmother being the one helping plot everything. Margaret is like the real MVP of this whole story, setting it up like that. She was the missing link. I could not get stuff to work out in my head because I was like, I know it's planned. Like, it's obviously planned so that the timelines would continuously flow, or we would smooth the timelines out. I could not get it to work in my head. So yeah, it ended up working out with June basically erasing past 2024 June, combining with 2023 June. Okay, that's my immediate reaction. That's pretty much all I want to talk about anyway, but we're still gonna do an outro. I will cut to that. I'll probably record that in the morning or something. I don't know. This was just a lot. This book was a lot. And it definitely was some emotional damage. This is my first 5-star of the year as well, which is so exciting. Like, you guys were here for the process of the 5-star, which was a wild ride, by the way. Very wild ride. Didn't know what was happening for most of it. But yeah, first 5-star, and it was fantastic. It was so good. It was so good. Oh, someone was talking about in my comment section about the cover for this. I'll show it in the outro, but this to me matches the book aesthetic super well. The actual cover with the red door, even though there was a red door on it, someone said that the aesthetic of that dust jacket didn't fit super well with the aesthetic of the book, and I actually agree. Even though the red door's on there, which is really cool, I think the rest of the art style actually doesn't match the aesthetic of what happens in the book. And I don't actually think the original cover does either. Like, I think the original cover screams like something totally different. I don't know what it is, but I'm glad I don't have the original cover. And a lot of people probably like it, but I don't like the original cover for what this book is. And I don't like the Alcrate dust jacket for what this book is either. This is perfect to me. This is what it will be displayed as. So yeah, I'm so excited. And I actually finished this. It basically in one day. I did read a decent amount last night, but I basically read the whole thing today. I feel like that's a really good mark of a very, very interesting book. So yeah, let's go into the actual outro where I'll ask you some questions, etc. because I cannot think of anything right now. I am too flustered and flabbergasted to think of anything. So let's go to the outro. All right, I'm back. It's the next day. It is the next morning. If you couldn't tell, it's still a 5. It's still a 5. I still really, really like it. Is it going to be a book that I remember by the end of the year? That's what I'm really curious about. I don't know, actually. I don't know if I'll remember like the intricate details of it. I feel like I'm gonna remember the characters because the characters really stuck out to me. For me, this felt more like there was a good plot, even though, like I said, there were some plot holes. But it's really the characters in this that made the story and the slow, like, regathering of her memories and becoming who she is in both timelines. So that was a really interesting part of the book, aspect of the book. And so I definitely feel like I'm going to remember the characters. I don't know if I'll remember the intricacies of the actual plot or like things that seem important now. I feel like I'm not going to remember. Like Susanna and her whole storyline, the mom, I don't know if I'm going to remember much of it by December when I'm picking like favorite books. So I am curious how this one is going to like live in my head as we go on throughout the months this year. So that is an interesting thing, rating something 5 stars at the beginning of the year and then making up lists at the end of the year of your favorite books, because sometimes you're like, did I really like that as much as I did? It's difficult sometimes. I had that struggle when I was making my 2023 best list. So yeah, it's definitely still 5-star. I still really liked it. I really don't have that much to talk about. I feel like in this one, definitely some questions are, do you think June of 2024 did combine with June of 2023, or almost it was like as if she died? Like, I'm really curious, and just like her memories went with her. I feel like she's gotta have bonded with the 2022. They're the same person, but it does feel like in a way that she died. So I am curious how you kind of have a take on that. I definitely want to know what your favorite moment in the book is. My favorite was the birdie reveal. Like, it was so good. The birdie reveal is my absolute favorite thing that happened. What is something about the book that you would change? Reading all of it, I don't know if I would really change anything because it ended up coming out like all together. Again, I think I would have preferred it if Susanna had like a moment where she did kill Nathaniel in the future. I think I would have preferred that, but I don't know how they would have made it work logistically. Favorite character in the book, I think my favorite character would definitely be June. I feel like it's, Margaret. I really like the grandmother. I don't know, I like both of them a lot. I think the grandmother, just because she's like secretly working behind the scenes the whole time. I love that. So yeah, well, who is your favorite character? Least favorite character out of the protagonists. Esther really frustrated me. I get she was trying to protect her family, but some of the things that she said I also didn't like. That's what kind of struck me as like, ugh. The way she was talking about unaliving in regards to people, I really didn't like. It felt very harsh, especially when she said that Susanna was too weak to do that, and that's why she thinks that she thinks Nathaniel killed her. And I just didn't like the way that Esther talked about that. I didn't like the way Esther dealt with situations. I don't like how she treated June. I get why she treated June the way she did, but I still didn't like it. Like, she's still your family and doesn't know what's going on. And this is a version of June that never left her family. So you have to recognize that. And Esther was just really frustrating. I wanted Esther to be similar to the grandmother, but June says it perfectly, that they are nothing alike. June was having a hard time seeing any similarities between the two, and that could not have been closer to the truth. So I guess it felt more realistic that like not everybody in the Farrow family could be this amazing woman, because Susanna had her problems, but she still like sacrificed everything she felt to protect her child. So there's at least that. So I guess not every woman could have like an amazing moment. And Esther was just fine. She just definitely frustrated me throughout the book. So definitely, yeah, what is your least favorite protagonist character? Because obviously you'd pick Caleb or Nathaniel, but I want protagonist character. And I guess what did you think what did you think about almost the parallel universe? Did some of you want her to go back to Mason? Because I kind of felt really bad for Mason. Like, he obviously loved her and never knows what happens to her. Like, that's really sad. That was like my only thing that I was like, dang, I wish like somehow she could like let him know she was okay. But he's gonna go the rest of his life thinking she just left. Like, that's really sad. So that was another thing that I was like, oh man, I kind of feel bad for Mason. Even though the whole time I was thinking he was evil, I really wanted something to be going on in the present that was actually like bad. But this is like a cozy fantasy basically. Like, I was trying to put so many other things in there, but this really does feel like a cozy-esque fantasy. So I definitely think that if you liked Invisible Life of Addie LaRue, which is a little more intense, if you liked, I feel like Emily Wilde's read, like, yeah, the style is different and the more uptight writing style of Emily Wilde is different, but there's still something similar about it at the same time. There's just like this cozy, fantastical feeling about it at times. Yeah, I feel like that's all the questions that I really have. It's like a very short wrap up, but there's not a ton to talk about because it's not like there's a bunch of twists. It was, like I said, it was very straightforward. Once the timeline was like streamlined, it was kind of like, okay, now it makes sense. I like how they did it. It still gives me like that, did she actually die or didn't she kind of thing, but I think it still works. Like, it's really, really good. So yeah, I ended up getting 5-star. Oh yeah, this is the cover I was talking about. I don't know. It doesn't, for some reason, my brain does not like the vibe of this. But at the same time, like, I do love this. But this is Nathaniel and Susanna, so that's hard to look at. I think, again, I'm just going to display it like this because I like this better than that. They're both really pretty, so I don't know. And I do like that it's open on the back. The next time you see the door, open it. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know if I like the styling of this book. I wish this front had been a picture of the picture that June finds of her and Eamon the first time. I would love to see a picture of that there instead with the aesthetic, because it's like a cutesy aesthetic. Although everything around it is dark, like the quotes and stuff. And that, yeah, that says hemlock on it. And then keep this. This is the mystery. 1 year later, still no answers. So I don't know. I feel like some of the aesthetic definitely could have been done a little bit differently with the actual book for Alcrate, but that's not like what the point of this video. That's not the point of this video. I just remember a couple people asking me about it, so I wanted to address it while I was holding it for the book club. But anyway, that is everything I have. I am so excited that the first book this year was a 5-star for me. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Definitely down below, tell me all of your thoughts and feelings, etc. I will get to it. I'm so behind on comments right now because we were in Savannah, Georgia, and so I'm just behind. I'm very, very behind on answering things. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed, make sure you subscribe. And if you like the video, make sure you click the like button. And like I said, leave a comment down below on all your thoughts and feelings. Even if you hated it, like, I still want to know why you didn't like it. Yeah, that is everything I have for you today. So I hope you had a great time watching this video. You have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.